Trick or treat? It's Behind the Headlines of History, a show that explores intriguing news stories of the past, brought to you by Ancestry and newspapers.com.
In every episode of the show, Michala and I share a weird, wonderful, grisly, or sometimes tragic historic newspaper story with one another and with you.
Then we put our genealogy hats on, we'd search through other records and shake those family trees.
Okay, I've got a very interesting story that popped out of the newspaper. Now, this is the Chicago Tribune.
Okay.
It's 1906, and it's the 27th of January. And the headline is Haunted by Dead Mother.
Oh.
So Frank says a spirit disturbs his peace.
Mm-hmm.
And he believes the apparition of his dead mother is punishing him because he cursed her for not leaving him most of her property.
Really?
And left it apparently to his sister.
Right, okay.
His wife, backs that story up and says, there's been sort of mysterious doings in their household. Tables and carpets upset.
When you say upset, do you mean like moved?
Thrown about.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go through and you read the story, and it's great. And what's one of the things I love about these 20th century newspapers? It gives his address. It's at 1596 West 39th Street. So straight away, we know where this guy was living.
Mm.
So we can look to see if there's any information in the census records. We know exactly where he is.
Okay.
And so what I was able to find out when I was digging around a little bit was that Frank was born in Poland in 1867. So he was, 13 when he came out?
Yep.
He was naturalized in 1891, and I think it was just around the time that he married, because even though his wife is of Polish parents, she was born in Illinois. So he married an American, who was an American by birth. And so I was going in and I was reading a little bit more about the story, and he's obviously he regrets some of the things that he said to his mother about the fact that she left most of the money to his sister, something he clearly was not happy about.
I wonder why she did that. She must have preferred the sister.
Well, it could have been that, but it could have been she just looked at his sister and went, she needs it. So I wanted to have a little bit more of a look at this household.
Yep.
Digging in a little deeper, I found out why there might have been some tables and chairs upset.
Mm.
He had 7 children.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking there's lots of kids. There's going to be lots going on in this house. So it would be weird if there wasn't tables and chairs upset. I don't think he was necessarily haunted by the ghost of his dead mother. I think he was probably haunted by the things that he said to her.
Yep.
And disturbed by the children running amok in his house. Because I looked at it and I said, what is the most likely source?
Mm.
What do you think? Do you think it's likely?
You read a lot of these stories, don't you? To do with ghosts and ghosts doing things and spirits and stuff. And I don't know. I'm a bit sat on the fence with this one.
So I wanted to follow up what happened with Frank.
Right, okay.
He dies, actually, in 1914, so not that much longer after this story was printed. He died, probably quite prematurely. And it's like a little sad. He obviously left behind a rather large family. And I wonder if this spirit, whether it was the spirit of guilt or the spirit of his mother, continued to haunt him for the rest of his short life.
That's a very strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And if you were connected to this family somehow, this is the kind of story that you might not know.
Well, this takes us to the end of this episode of Behind the Headlines of History.
Subscribe here on the Ancestry YouTube channel so you never miss an episode.